What are the odds? I mean, what are the odds that a novel titled Sideways is published in 2004 and it gets made into a movie in 2004 and released in 2004? What are the odds? Too many. It was a novel by Rex Pickett. The film stars Paul Giamatti, Thomas Hayden Church, Virginia Madsen, and Sandra Oh, and is directed by Alexander Payne. The film is about Miles Raymond, played by Paul Giamatti. He's a teacher, he is depressed, divorced, and hopes to get a novel published, but at the moment with no avail. But he hopes this week will bring some light at the end of the tunnel for him when he and his old college roommate, Jack Cole, played by Thomas Hayden Church, a former actor who just does voice work now, to wine country for a last week of fun because that next week Jack is getting married. But Jack has other plans. He wants to have fun that Miles doesn't like. He wants to mess around with a lot of with women before he gets married. Miles thinks it's stupid, but goes along with it because it's his friend Jack. Along the way, they meet Maya, a waitress played by Virginia Madsen, who seemed to take a liking to Miles. And they meet Stephanie, played by Sandra Oh, who really takes a liking to Jack. And what's going to happen here? Well, I'm sure you know the rest if you saw the movie, but if you didn't, I'm gonna let you see the movie and find out for yourself. Sideways is a good movie. It balances the comedy and drama out perfectly, and I think everybody pretty much gives a good performance. And I know at times we don't like Jack and Miles for what they do. I mean, well, it does show they're not all great, but it also shows they're not all bad. I mean, that's what the human part of the story is. I mean, this displays they're not perfect. And I like and surprisingly, Paul Giamatti and Thomas Hayden Church really click. You really buy their history together, and that they're friends, and they could be friendly, and they could curse at each other. But that's what mostly some friends do when they get aggravated with each other. I like the way that even though Jack may be a guy who wants to be a philanderer, he doesn't think about the consequences. It does show he could be very three-dimensional. I mean, it does show he does care about Miles, he worries about Miles, and he wants him to be happy. I like that part of the story. I mean, I really like that part of the story where that it shows how deep their friendship can be at times. I also like Virginia Madsen as Maya, who really likes Miles and wants to start a relationship with him, but times Miles' insecurities kind of just have him back off a bit at times. But I like the way it does show she has her limitations and all that stuff, and Virginia Madsen plays it well. And let's not forget Sandra Oh as Stephanie. She's a wild child. I know the story differs a bit from the novel. I never read the novel. I should have, but I didn't. But I like the scenery of wine country and all that. It just shows you when they show the scenes of how wine is made is pretty good. And this shows you how I like the way Miles and Jack go on a wine tasting thing. It's pretty good. And Alexander Payne's direction is considerably perfect. It's hard not to say anything. It's hard to see anything bad about this movie. I mean, it does play against sort of cliches you would expect to see in these type of movies. It's hard to believe it's been 20 years since this movie came out. It's a film, I think, it's a very adult film. I think all adults should enjoy a lot of. So I give Sideways a 10 out of 10. Have a good one.